We are getting to the point where we're going to introduce somebody that we all know and love. But before we do, we have one quick video that's from a dear friend that most of you folks in the room will know. And he's been a dear friend of the council, a dear friend to John Duke, to Jan and I, and gosh, he's just a tremendous person. Please roll the video message.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to speak on this occasion, marking the 40th anniversary of the founding of the National Council on U.S.-Arab Affairs and the retirement of its founder and president, Dr. John Duke Anthony, otherwise known to some of his Arab friends as Bin Duke. I have been honored to be a close friend of Bin Duke's for over 40 years. I know him as a great thinker, a consummate historian, and a profound scholar. I also know him as a daring traveler and adventurer, because he traveled and lived in many Middle Eastern countries and Arab cities more than half a century ago, when traveling in this region was not, by any stretch of the imagination, as fun and easy as it is today. Bin Duke has taught multiple generations of U.S. military, political, and academic leaders about the Arab world. He has also escorted many of them to the Arab world in order for them to gain a first-hand knowledge of the region and its challenges. In addition to the founding of the National Council, Bin Duke also founded the Model Arab League, considered by many as a great organization for educating American youth about the issues connected with the Arab countries and their relations with the West and the rest of the world. On a more personal note, I have been inspired by Bin Duke as I saw him dealing with unspeakable physical pain and obstacles to normal physical movement. Despite that, Bin Duke has soldiered on, determined to contribute what he could do to the solution of what sometimes seem like unsolvable challenges. Those of us who have known Bin Duke for a long time will always love him and respect him for being a decent, principled man and a passionate defender of human rights in every setting. Thank you, my dear Bin Duke, for your friendship and all your hard work. Thank you, Cynthia Anthony, for being a wonderful wife, a partner and supporter of your husband. Thank you, Mr. Roosevelt, and members of the National Council's board and staff for your dedication to the Council's vision and mission. I wish you all the success going forward. Thank you.
No one person can do a lot of things by herself or himself there, but and General David Petraeus knows this as much as anyone, as do the ambassadors in the room. Former Foreign Minister of Yemen, a country that is deep in my heart, as is the Sultanate of Oman. With regard to the ambassador who was here earlier this evening, and Francis Cook was here too. I'm in this field by an accident. Maybe all of you are what you are and why you've been and what you've yet to become by accident as well. My lifetime dream was to be a professional baseball player. And every waking moment from age 7 to age 17, I was not just in love with baseball. I was not just obsessed with it. I was addicted to it. And that's why I went into the Army, because I thought, why the hell, why the F, should I have to go to college for 4 years, which would delay me there. I knew that there were some who made it all the way when they were 18, and I thought, well, if they could do it, so could I. But injuries crept up and crippled my body and turned me in a different direction. And so I thought, well, when I got out of college or university, I might be able to make it. But no, here I am, Southern boy, white boy, participating in 135 demonstrations after the murder of George Floyd. And so my life has been one filled of compassion and principle. And Sue Bonham, who is a member of our board here, will attest to the fact that I went with a marvelous young man, Mario Pascal, who was an Italian-American first-generation immigrant there. And he had been a teacher, teaching the brain damage and those who had been neurologically impaired, and who had gone 8 times to other countries to introduce young people between his academic exposures and teaching to open their minds to other peoples, other cultures. And boy, it had a massive impact on me in terms of culture shock. I don't think anybody would honestly say that they've never had a culture shock if they went out of their bubble, their situation, and went to a directly opposite situation, but that was a situation for me. And I was determined after I came back from the Gaza Strip and having been exposed to the Palestinian refugees, that I would devote the rest of my life to try to do something about this, that a drop in a puddle does ripple and go out to the edges. And I thought, well, let's see if I can be one of those drops. And it took a long time, but the passion was there, the compassion was there, the principles were there, the ideals were there, the motives were there, the background, the context that General Payers made reference to in terms of strategic vision there to be sure you have your strategic idea. To get the big ideas right is what he has pointed out. And be clear about your mission. And with the National Council, we've had a set of strategic goals in terms of strengthening and expanding America's relationship with its Arab friends and partners and strategic allies. And I've been clear about this, and so have most of the people in this room. But it cannot happen by accident or coincidence. Only if enough good people, and there are enough good people in this room, are committed with the same set of ideas, the same sense of convictions, the same sense of commitment, the same degree of courage, and not just physical courage, and not just moral courage, but the kind of courage that knows right from wrong. And in terms of the situation of Palestine, there's no murkiness in my head or my heart. And I don't think there is in most of you who are here with regard to the roots of this problem, this challenge that need to be addressed. Unless they are addressed, there will be nothing but one set of conflicts and confrontations and cross-border forays and false narratives after the other, with tens of thousands being killed. People would say that there have been several conflicts as a result of the first one in the late 1940s. No, there have been double, if not treble, that many conflicts that have had this particular conflict at their root, or certainly on the compass. And they are going to continue to be at the root and at the point of the compass, unless there are enough good people, men and women. We have leaders. We have plenty of leaders What we need, though, are statespeople, statesmen, stateswomen, and don't say that they don't exist. Algeria would still be in a situation that it was, but for Charles de Gaulle, who became more than a leader, he became a statesman. And the same thing with Wiley Bryant and the Mother Teresa's and the Konrad Adenauers and many another statesperson who has stood up and done what was necessary. And the Martin Luther Kings of the world likewise have done the necessary. One day we will have such statesmen, and I use the word statesman loosely because it's still awkward to say stateswomen or statesmen as such in the singular. But it won't happen unless they have been educated to the core, to the roots of these issues, these obstacles. And this is why we're focused on a mission of training and educating our youth to expose them empirically to the realities of this particular complex challenge. And all of us here must ask ourselves, why are we here? Having a nice dinner and a gala and a silent auction. But what is the purpose of our life? One day after the next. When we look in the mirror and we ask ourselves that question, what is the answer? One day after the other. I know what my mission is. I know what my purpose is. I've dedicated my life to this. And we're looking for young people, and not just the young people, but people who are starting somewhat later than young, to do the necessary, to get what the issues are right and work on them, regardless of the price. If it requires putting one's life on the line, then so be it. I will do that. 135 demonstrations I participated in. I'll do it again, with crutches and all. Not the best health as one might like, but I will do it. It's necessary. We have to do the necessary. This organization is one that can find the people who can do the necessary if they have the best information available. And when you have the best information available, you are liberated in a way. But that's not enough. The best information needs to be coupled to the best insight. Information and insight. And those two also are not enough. But those two will provide one with knowledge. And the knowledge as well is not enough. With the knowledge comes understanding. The two are not the same. Knowledge and understanding are different, but they're joined at the hip. But those four things, information, insight, knowledge, and understanding, will provide one with a basis for critical analysis. And with that, we have a degree of clarity in terms of the objective and the mission. I thank all of you for being a supporter of this cause. It need not continue till the end of time. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it.